1 foot on the brake, 1 on the gas.
Yeah.
Hey, that's why your tires are spinning.
I think it's a cookie. No, it's a pizza. It's a cookie pizza. Another case sold.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. Oh, crap, I forgot what I was going to say. Whatever. Give it up for your hosts, Mike and Darren.
Hi, I'm Darren.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. This is episode 210.
If you like what we do, and you will.
Oh, yeah.
You will.
Absolutely.
Go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. All of our episodes are there.
All of them.
In videos. There's pictures.
Yeah.
There's fun stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
All.
Yeah.
There's a place to get to our store to buy things.
Yes.
We have things.
Oh, all kinds of things.
And a link to our Patreon.
And stuff.
Once you open the door to Patreon, you'll never want to close it.
Never,
It's
ever.
got some cool stuff on there.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I'm using my Christmas soap.
Oh, your Christmas soap?
Bess bought me one of these. I'm sorry, Santa brought one of those soap bars of
Does it smell like mint
it's
or gingerbread?
bourbon and smoke. I'm like, that's what I need to smell like going to work.
That's
smell like I've been drinking and smoking
Christmas
all night.
in Virginia.
That's what they should rename it. It does. It smells like
bourbon.
You spilled a bourbon in an ashtray and then rubbed it on yourself.
Okay.
But it's a woody scent.
That's a weird fragrance for soap, in my opinion.
Now I know I'm reading Game of Thrones, so I'm biased, but it does smell like someone who in the Game of Thrones world might smell like if they smelled pleasant. Because they all stink to high
Oh my
heaven.
God, they have.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even imagine how bad they smell.
It's worse when you're reading the book because he's describing what they're wearing. They're all wearing leather. And they're out there in the sun.
Yeah.
There's a whole page on how much Ned, Eddard Stark is sweating. He can't stand it. It's driving him crazy.
Right.
And he misses Winterfell where they don't sweat. They freeze to death. And he's just, and then he has to put on a leather thing and go sit in the sun and watch Joffrey be...
Well, we were watching one of those Westerns, and they would ride for weeks before they got to a town where you could get a bath and a shave.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Have a bath. I remember when I was a young tyke.
I need a room and a bath.
Yeah. Young Guns. That was a big deal when Emilio, the kid, and his posse, he got a bath.
His what?
His posse.
Oh, okay.
His posse.
Yeah.
The flaming posses.
I just can't even imagine how bad they smelled in the Old West.
Yeah.
And they're on a horse.
God.
And even if a horse smells good, you still smell like horse.
Yeah.
I could just see me alive in those days. You guys go ahead. I'm just gonna hang out here under this tree.
Our previous
be
dog,
a sissy.
Our previous dog, Molly, if we let her off of her leash when we were out, she would run to the nearest pile of or carcass and intensely roll in it, dive, attack it with her face. She would have gore and all, and Booba doesn't do that. I'm like, thank God.
When Conrad was a puppy,
when he ate,
and we had him in his crate when we had the apartment. I don't know how he did it, but I would go in to let him out in the morning, and there was all over the inside of the crate, the roof of the inside of the crate. Outside the crate gate was poop. How? I mean, it's like it exploded in there. And I worked the morning show, so it's 4:00 in the morning, and I had to get Libby up, and she would wash the dog while I would wash the crate. Like, why did we want a dog? Why?
Yeah. You don't know. Well, Bill Burr had an amazing act on, you don't know what kind of dog you're going to get, and what issues, especially when you get a rescue dog, you don't know what their rap sheet is like. He's like, oh, this one's, just randomly loses his mind. It decides to attack people.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
That is without question the funniest story I've ever heard.
And there it was.
Boy, one of those hobbits looks like he got hit upside the head with a pan.
There's some sexy hobbits, though. I mean, Stifler makes us sexy.
In The Hobbit, that one main hobbit was way too sexy to be a hobbit.
The dwarf.
The dwarf.
Yeah,
Yes,
the dwarf.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
don't know. Merry and Pippin are kind of sexy.
Yeah, the one of them was in Lost.
Yes.
Pippin.
Yeah.
Or Merry.
God, now
It was Merry because Pippin's the one that
which one
Gandalf's always pissed off.
Yeah, which one grabbed hold of the
Pippin?
Okay, what's that thing called?
The Palantir.
Palantir. That was Pippin?
It was Pippin.
Okay. Peregrine Took.
Yeah, yes.
Fool of a Took.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Mariander Brandybuck.
Meriadoc Brandybuck.
No, it's Mariander.
No, it's Meriadoc.
Okay.
I can look it up.
Okay, I could have swore it was Mariander Brandybuck and Peregrine Took. Yeah.
Meriadoc. Yeah, Meriadoc, quote, Mary Brandybuck.
Brandybuck.
Oh, yeah, and that's the one that was in Lost. The one that kind of looks like Larry Bird if he got hit.
It doesn't look a thing like Larry Bird. Not once. He looks more like Magic Johnson than he does Larry Bird.
I'm so glad that Peter Jackson did not make the hobbits look like douchebags like they did. And I don't care how many people on the Reddits and all these stuff talk about how amazing the 70s Hobbit or whatever it wasn't.
Oh, that cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember watching it as a kid thinking, what is this?
Yeah. Ooh.
What?
Okay. I just got a message from the old lady.
The
We've
ball and chain.
That's one of the things we talked about early on. It's like, you're not going to call me your old man, and I'm not going to call you the old lady. I hate that with such a passion. If I'm talking to you and you're like, yeah, the old lady, I'm immediately, you're done. We're not talking. I'll politely end the conversation in some way. I won't run screaming, but we're not going to go have a coffee at that point.
Every now and then I'll refer to Libby as the little wife. What was that movie with Janine Garofalo? The wife. So she's she's your property.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the ES 1932 Scissor Lift. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and when it comes to working with heights, I don't screw around with ladders. I do the job right with the ES 1932 Scissor Lift. If you have high ceilings, this bad boy is ideal for indoor maintenance. And it's perfect for outdoor construction projects too. This electric scissor lift has twice the battery power of a standard scissor lift. It can power through tough terrain. The platform is strong enough to hold plenty of weight. And with a silencing muffler, this scissor lift is much quieter than diesel models. The ES 1932 Scissor Lift, for people who don't screw around with ladders. Certified users only. Now back to the show.
I got somebody that complained. We had a complaint.
Okay.
On TikTok about the 12 nuggets.
Okay.
It just doesn't work with the censorship. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you need to hear me say the C word.
They complained that it doesn't work.
They said it doesn't work with the censorship.
Well, we're not putting it on with it.
Yeah.
We did an uncensored version
for
our
Patreon.
patrons.
Yeah, but I didn't get the sense that this was a guy that would pay for anything.
Yeah.
He seemed like a tool.
And the only reason we did that was because it was a legitimate mistake that you made. It's not a word that you would ever use.
Yeah.
And you accidentally, and you can hear you blushing over this audio podcast. Like, oh my God, how many times am I going to say, you know?
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to release.
I hate that word. I don't like that word.
I don't either. And you didn't want to release the uncensored version.
Yeah.
And I'm the one who, the voice of reason, said we should do it because.
Yeah. But
it was a legitimate accident.
Even from a comedic. Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I'm not going to walk into church and go, how the f*** you doing? You know.
Oh, yo.
But I think those are funny words to say, and I think there's a time and place to say it. We'll talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood later.
Okay.
But that word...
By the way, good job on saying the title. You couldn't say it to save your life last week.
No.
Once Upon a Time in the Life of Hollywood. In the Life of Hollywood.
But the C word, I can't, even in a comedic sense, I can't. But
right.
The only reason that story exists is because I literally did say that to a Chick-fil-A employee, which is the equivalent of dropping the F-bomb in church.
Right.
I think. If I go out and just find a random person on the street and order 12 nuggets, they'll be like, what? Are you off your medication?
Right.
But like a Chick-fil-A, I mean, she must be in therapy still over that.
Pretty sure she went home, and you won't believe what happened to me at work.
Yeah. Oh, we heard about it on the podcast. Yeah.
It's time for a classic clip from Irritable Dad Syndrome.
The Simpsons ride was my second favorite ride. Okay. And that was on the other part of the thing.
Yeah.
And you've written that one, right? Or
I can't
did you
remember.
or did you not?
I can't. I think we may have. I seem to remember.
Yeah. Sideshow Bob is trying to kill them at the amusement park.
I think we wrote it. Are you in a big donut?
No, you're in a ride. You're in like a roller coaster.
Are there pink donuts that come out at you?
No.
I don't know if we rode that or not.
But that leads me into this second part of the story. So the Simpsons, if you go to Universal, I mean, absolutely go ride the Simpsons ride. It is hysterically funny and so much fun. Outside of the Simpson ride, there's a Quickie Mart. There's a Krusty Burger. There's Cletus's Chicken Shack.
There's the beer place.
There's the Moe's Tavern. And then there's the Lard Land Donuts.
Okay.
So
there's the big donut.
Big pink donut.
That's why I'm thinking.
It's a giant pink donut that the fat guy's holding up. Lard Land Donuts.
Yeah.
So the boys are like, Dad, let's get some donuts. Can we get donuts? Can we get donuts? Hey, Dad, can we get donuts? Can we get donuts? Can we get donuts?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go and get donuts. Yeah. I've got an extra $50. Let's go get some donuts. Libby says, "Wait a minute, they're not selling donuts. They're selling like one big donut."
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? It's just one big donut? Because it said $16.99. So I thought you got like a box of donuts for $16.99, but you get one.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I don't know if I want to waste my money on this or what. This girl's walking by. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I see your donut?"
Hello.
Then I realized that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
But she says, sure. So she showed me. She showed me her donut.
Yeah.
It was a nice donut.
Yeah.
And so we bought it and we split the donut.
Yeah.
But that was absolutely delicious.
For even more fun, go to irritabledadsyndrome.com.
Andrew finally watched his first Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, okay. What did he watch?
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
And I was studying him almost as much as I'm studying the movie. I'm like, is he gonna? I was like, if he's not gonna like it,
right? What's the point?
Yeah,
right.
I was like, as far as violence,
because when you love a movie and you're watching it with someone that's just not into it, it ruins it for you.
So here's the deal, and I've talked about this ad infinitum, but I'll just. That's a word.
Okay, I'll Google that.
But one of the things I really like about Tarantino is he lets you sit in a scene, like you absorb in all the. And if you don't like it, if you don't like the movie, then you're just not going to like it. But you can feel a lot of the.
Brilliant.
That's brilliant.
If you don't like it, you're not going to like it.
If you don't like to do that, if you don't like to soak in the scenery and the pauses in the conversation and just kind of be there, then you're not going to like the movie. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has a ton of that. There's a good half hour of the movie is the cameras in the back seat of the car as they're driving through Hollywood in a lot of different cars.
Right.
And you get the sense of LA and Hollywood, but if it's like you're waiting for something to happen, you're like, God, so I'm like, there's that. And then there's not that much violence until the very end. And then it's violent. So it's probably the tamest of Tarantino's movies I can watch. But then also it's really long and he can get the sense of these things take a while. And at the end of it, he got halfway through it. And I thought, I wonder if he's getting bored. I'm like, bud, do you want to watch the rest of this tomorrow? And he's like, he popped up. He's like, no, we gotta keep watching.
Okay.
Watch all the way to the end. He was like, that was really good.
Yeah.
And then he was telling Bess about it. She was like, really? Because she's not a huge Tarantino fan.
Right.
So and I was like, oh, well, now that we're through that one, Inglourious Bastards is probably next.
Okay.
Because he really liked the Brad Pitt character. And I was like, well, Brad Pitt's in that one.
Yeah.
And, that's a lot more violent. And it steps it up a little bit.
When are you going to work up to Pulp Fiction?
I think we're going to go Inglourious Bastards. And then
I personally would wait a little bit.
I'm waiting a little. I think after.
Don't let me tell you how to parent.
I think after Inglourious Bastards is either The Hateful Eight or Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
Or Django.
Or Kill Bill. Kill Bill could be in there somewhere.
Lord.
It's violent as hell, but it's a cartoony violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cartoony-ish thing.
So I'm not going to judge. I know you and I disagree on
Call of Duty.
No.
Okay.
I'm fine that you play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I just have never played it.
Yeah.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, Libby and I went, and we were bored out of our mind.
Yeah.
We were just so bored out of our mind. And it really is one of those movies that I just don't understand how people enjoyed it. Because I think that I know I have a diverse taste in music, and I know I have a diverse taste in movies. Mm-hmm. Okay. But it was one of those I just didn't understand it. So my question for you is, I know there's movies that you love, and that what movies do you love that you just don't understand somebody not loving besides John Wick?
That I love that I don't understand other people not loving.
I absolutely love The Lord of the Rings, and then people complain.
Breaking Bad. I'll use a TV show because I know people that won't watch it or have only watched a couple of episodes and they can't. And I'm like, how do you not?
It makes no sense at all to me.
Part of the reason I like Breaking Bad is the same reason I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because they do a similar thing in Breaking Bad. They do it like crazy in the episode The Fly. But
you can take that episode out completely.
I don't think so. I don't agree with you there. But but I will say, all through the series, they sit in scenes for a while. Mm-hmm. Like one of them is Walt lighting the matches and throwing them in the pool. Mm-hmm. I mean, that scene lasts 5 or 7 minutes of him just doing that and staring. Yeah. Acting his face off. Mm-hmm. I mean, from a cynical view, you're like, it's just a dude throwing matches in. Come on, let's get with the story. But if you really watch him in his face, everything, you know what he's thinking. Yeah. It's amazing. The whole series is like that. Yeah. But there's a lot of scenes where they will take a 30-second or a 1-minute dialogue scene and put it in a 5 or 10-minute segment. With camera work, and Tarantino does that a lot with Hollywood. Mm-hmm. That's part of the reason why I thought I was concerned that Andrew may not get it, because he didn't know anything about the Manson family murders or anything. So all through the movie, there's little hints that that's what this movie is about. Yeah, but he's not going to catch it.
I think that explained that for people who weren't familiar with it. It's like you didn't have to have a prerequisite.
Yeah, I gave him a little rundown right before. I was like, "Bud, there were these murders that happened, and it's in the house."
I might have to just watch it again and see, because I just don't understand. God, we were bored out of our mind.
Well, what I'm telling you
and we were pissed because we had a date night. Yeah. And this was a couple years ago. It's like we never got out.
So, yeah.
And our night was ruined on this movie.
A lot of Tarantino movies are like that. Yes. It's like, no, I don't mean boring. No. I mean, sit in the scene. Yes. Like if they were doing a scene of this show, like I said, if this were a Tarantino movie and this were a scene in it, there would probably be some time spent watching, taking a drink and, like The Swallow. And
The Gold Watch.
A brief moment.
Is a scene that just focused on Christopher Walken for so long before it cut away to Bruce Willis as a child for so long. Almost an uncomfortable amount of time.
The beginning of Inglourious Bastards, how long is that dude sitting there just drinking that milk and staring? And the tension is that this is a Nazi and this is a guy and they're hidden underneath. Mm-hmm. That's the tension in it. Yeah. So from one point of view, it's like, that's just two guys staring at each other. It's like, no, this is going down. Yeah. It's the same thing with Gus. There's a lot of scenes where Gus is just staring at somebody. Mm-hmm. And if it's later in the series, Gus could kill them right now.
Right now.
Or not.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh. And the scene going on so Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has a lot of that, but it's centered around, there's Charlie Manson. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the one girl that stabbed whatever. Oh, they're going up to the house. But then and it's hilarious when they go in the wrong house. And one of my favorite lines from Brad Pitt was he's high on acid and he's trying to figure out the name of the guy. And the guy says, "I'm the devil." And he's like, "Nah, it's dumber than that." Yeah. Crack me and Andrew up. It's just funny. Yeah. The violence is funny. The movie is funny, but it's a different kind of funny. It's a perfect moment. And both me and Andrew laughed ourselves silly. Was all this stuff happens. Leonardo DiCaprio is floating in his pool with his headphones on. He has no idea that this battle of life and death is happening in his house. And the woman runs out, has had her face ripped off, the spoiler, by the dog, and she's screaming.
You need to say spoiler before you just for future reference.
She's screaming, and he becomes basically the audience at that point, like, what the? And, it's hilarious. love that Andrew liked that, because now it opens up a whole world of movies that other people don't like, that Dad loves, that this kid may enjoy. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But I will tell you, that if you're not into that, and if you're not into sitting in a scene forever, and you don't think it's cool that we're going to put a camera in the back of this car and watch it through its entire freaking journey through LA, if you don't get the pleasure of sitting in that scene and soaking all that in, then you're going to find it boring. I can see how people think it's boring.
I don't think that was the problem with it. I couldn't get involved with the characters. I couldn't get attached to any of them. Like I didn't, and I'm a big fan.
You didn't get it with Leonardo DiCaprio his career going.
I really like Leonardo DiCaprio, but I did not think he acted well in this movie.
Oh, dude, the scene where the girl tells him he did a great job and he starts to cry.
I thought he was overacting his ass off.
Oh my gosh!
And hey, sorry, man. Okay. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? My God, it's one of the best movies ever made. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
all the way, man.
Yeah,
that's his pass. No matter what he does, I'm always going to be a huge fan of him because of What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah. Well, another movie is The Revenant.
The Revenant was incredible. Yeah. Revenant was really, really good.
But I
didn't like Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my all-time favorites. That's one of my tops.
Ever.
Dude.
And I'm a fan of long movies.
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I've watched that movie more, I think, over and over. I love it. Do you not know of The Hateful Eight? You got to watch The Hateful Eight. I love The Hateful Eight. Kurt Russell.
I haven't watched it.
Did you watch it?
No.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm just going on the advice of my friend, my neighbor, who they loathed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A friend of mine, when it came out, did not go see it with me because his cousin told him that it was horrible. And then he later saw it on video, and it's one of his favorite movies of all time. And he's pissed at his... Did you like Reservoir Dogs?
No.
Okay. No. You may not like Hateful
No,
Eight.
there was part of... Okay, the argument at the table about why do I get to... I don't want to be Mr. Pink.
It's like, very scripted sounding.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so last time I let people pick their colors, everybody wanted to be Mr. Black. Why am I Mr. Brown? Am I going to be Mr... Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
That part was funny.
Yeah.
The slow motion walking down the street. It's like Quentin Tarantino's, I'm going to throw myself in this because all these guys are badasses. Yeah. And if I'm walking along with them, then I too will be a badass.
Yeah.
No, not really. And I'm a fan of Quentin Tarantino, but he's not a good actor.
Okay. He wasn't in Django.
Yeah, I know.
In Django, he took me straight out of the movie.
I know how good my coffee is. I
I like him in Pulp Fiction. I'm sorry, I do. She's coming home. She'll be home.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So Reservoir Dogs was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Loved Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Brown.
I like Jackie Brown a lot.
It kind of bored me. I didn't really get into it.
Who's that? That's Beaumont.
Yeah.
Who's Beaumont? An employee I had to let go. That's stuck in my brain. Yeah.
So after Jackie Brown was
Kill Bill.
One, I liked Kill Bill. Didn't care for Kill Bill 2. Okay. How can you really like the first one and not care for the second one? Leave it to Darren Cox.
Okay.
Then Django? No, what came after Kill Bill 2?
Was it Hateful Eight?
Death Proof.
Oh, I never saw Death Proof or the other one from the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Death Proof, again, everybody sounded like Quentin Tarantino. All the girls sounded exactly like Quentin Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
None of the characters were diverse. Anything. No one stood out from the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards.
I did not like Inglourious Bastards.
Did like Inglourious Bastards.
We watched it on a small TV, and I kept having to pause it to read the dialogue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was like, I could not. My God, it ended. I'm like, thank God it's over.
Okay.
Yeah. But I will say, Inglourious Bastards was a lot like, was it Platoon? No. What's the movie with Pyle where he shoots himself?
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
Really?
Yeah. In that, it has that first scene where they're hiding under the floor in the kitchen, and then you know what happens. And then the movie kind of starts over again, kind of like in Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
Full Metal Jacket, the first opening scene with Pyle going through basic training and the Sarge and everything was amazing. Then it starts over again.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay. Yeah.
And
it just completely starts over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see Hateful Eight.
Okay.
And I did not like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Django and Hateful Eight.
I did like Django. Yeah.
Well, if you like Django, you might like the Hateful Eight.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's the
Hateful Eight. The best part of Hateful Eight. There's so many good pieces of it, but the part that cracks me up. This is some of the humor in it. See if you'll like it or not. They're in this cabin. It's in the winter. It's cold as outside, and the door won't shut right. And they have to every time somebody comes in and out, they have to nail the door shut. That's a running gag. It's like a 2.5 hour movie. It doesn't matter what's happening in the scene. It doesn't matter who just called who something. It doesn't matter who just shot somebody. If somebody comes in that door, everybody, including Kurt Russell, is screaming, "Nail the door! Nail the door! The door!" And whoever it's like, okay, you shut the door.
nice.
And then they'll do the scene, and it'll be like there's one scene. I don't want to spoil it, but it's Samuel Jackson actually killed the son of one of the people in the room, and he finds out about it right then. And Samuel Jackson's just rubbing it in, and just it's like a very intense scene. And the guy's like, ugh. And then somebody comes to the door, and everybody immediately shut the door now. It's a weird kind of humor, and it just I dig it.
Yeah, Stump Woodley said that we should do a Cannonball Run type of blooper scene at the end. Have you never listened to one of our audio podcasts?
You got called out.
I mean, honestly, almost every episode of this podcast has bloopers at the end.
Yeah.
Almost every single one.
We do have the one show, the Patreon one. It's there's one called The Ends.
Yes.
It's literally just all of those into one episode.
Yeah.
Up to that point.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And
Daddy didn't have anything to make an episode with, so it's like...
You made that into a bonus episode, though.
No, I think it was an actual...
Was it? Okay, because I know I was in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then I saw that it was... I thought, cool.
You said something like, we didn't have time to record, and I was like, I'll do something. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, it's just like rummaging through the kitchen. Oh, I can put this in this bowl and this over here and mix it. It doesn't matter what time of day, what's happening. If Office Space is on, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
From whatever point. It doesn't matter where it is in the movie. I'm watching it.
That's me with Shawshank. I can do that with The Fugitive. My God, I love watching The Fugitive.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We watch The Lord of the Rings every year. Usually in the winter.
Yeah. We our yearly things, Lord of the Rings. The kids are doing Harry Potter.
I don't know how.
I don't not like Harry Potter. I just never really, you know what I mean?
I know.
I respect it. I get it, but I'm just,
Yeah.
Rocky for me. Every couple of years, I go from Rambo. I go from First Blood all the way through Rambo. I don't know what it is about it. And here's the thing: is that's the one series that changes for me as I go through it. The first couple of times I did that, it was like I'm laughing myself silly and having a good time.
Yeah.
Each time I watch them now, it's getting more and more serious.
Yeah.
To where by the time I'm 60 when I'm doing that, I'm be like, this is one of the most important dramas of our time.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. Yeah, I don't know how many times I watched The Empire Strikes Back. I couldn't not watch it.
I watched it so many times, I got sick of it.
I still am not sick of it.
Yeah, there were a few movies. Me and Bess were talking about when Dabney Coleman, because he just passed away. And I grew up with HBO in the house. And there were a few movies that were always on. And one of them was 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
I've seen 9 to 5. We've talked about watching it with the kids, and I told Beth, watch out, because as soon as it starts, I'll be reciting every line in that movie. I know them to a T.
Boy, I haven't seen that in forever. I remember liking it.
Yeah.
I remember getting a kick out of it, yeah.
And there's a lot of, you don't realize how sexist the 80s were until you watch like that or Mr. Mom. Because Mr. Mom at the time was a very progressive movie.
Yes.
But now it's like just the fact that was progressive makes it sound like...
Are you doing that 220? 220, 221, whatever it takes.
But and Mr. Mom is one of those movies where you watch it later in life and you see it a whole different way. It's like Ghostbusters is that way. When I was a kid, Ghostbusters was like this fun adventure. Now watching, I was like, oh my God, there was so much sexual humor in there. I never even saw the Gate Master and the Key Master and the Gatekeeper. Yeah. And, Bill Murray shocking the dude when he's given the girl has all the right answers when he's doing the cards.
Yes.
But he shocks the guy.
Yeah.
I thought it was just funny that he was shocking the guy, but now it's hilarious because I know why he's really doing it.
Well, hey, kids, we've run out of time. We appreciate you. Yeah, I know.
I want to keep going.
I know. Well, you know what?
I have more stuff.
Well, we'll be back next week.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
Tune in next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darren Cox production.
Hi, I'm Darren.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. This is episode 210. Welcome.
Jesus. Okay, let's do one.
Hi, I'm Darren.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. This is episode 210.
You did another thing the last time. Is that what you're going to end at 210? You're going to end it. This is episode 210. And then I'm going to, if you like what we do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We're going to go. We want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. Check it out. Mike has put so much work into the website.
We both have. There's a little work. I'm sorry. Most hosts don't cuss at the end when you're trying to bring people in. It's like, cut. Go again.
We're going to go. Before we do, we want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. Check it out. Mike has put so much effort into the website. It looks amazing. It really... God.
Damn it.
Now
that we've already f***ed up, can I just throw this in?
Sure.
The art Brown,
usually we can't start the show. This time we can't end the show.
The art that Jeff Brown put together, with the recent website makeover, I've embraced the colors that he used. Yeah. And I really, I love the yellow and the red, and the orange, and how that all flows together. And I enjoy going to our website now.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just, if you look at where we started, going back and making these older videos with some of the older audio, we sounded like we were two rats in a tin can down the road. Are we on? Are you on? Are you on? I got a Rubik's Cube if you want to.
Yeah.
Yes, Rubik's Cube. Bono did a Rubik's Cube. Oh my God! It's even the good clips are still. We sound like we're in a rat, and I'm just so thankful that we've gotten to this point.
A rat's.
So, but I am having fun taking those older clips and putting them into the new motif with the artwork and everything.
Motif.
The motif. Motif.
Okay.
And okay. I'll quit. Yeah. I'm getting a sore throat. All them coming out of my mouth. All right.